Hello everybody. We are going to see some examples which uses if and loops, conditional statements and looping statements. The first one we are going to discuss is the if statement, in which you will see the structure followed as if else, because we are going to find the absolute value. What exactly is the absolute value? If a number is less than 0, then the absolute value is negative of that number. Okay, so if you enter a negative number, negative of negative, it will become a positive. We know the absolute value. If the value, the entered number is greater than 0, the absolute value is that number itself. So for which we need one number. So let the user enter that number. That is why we are giving. You can check the statement 3. Step number 3, value is equal to int of input, enter an integer. So this integer can be negative or positive number, and we are converting this into an integer. That's why int of input is coming. Okay. Now what happens? Whatever value that you have entered is now in value. We have to check now if this value is less than 0 or not. Value is less than 0 or not. If the value is less than 0, then the absolute value is negative of that value. So negative and negative will become positive. Else absolute is that value itself. And finally, you get the absolute value in this variable ABS, which stands for absolute. Print absolute value is, close the quote, put a comma, then ABS. So this is how you find the absolute value with the help of an if statement. Now I am going to run this for you. Enter an integer. So first I am entering one integer, a positive one, and let's see the absolute value. Since this number is positive already, the else part will work in our program, okay, because the number is greater than 0. So value is absolute value. Okay. Now if I run this program once again, and this time I am giving a negative number, negative 34, the if statement, the true statement will get executed, because the condition that we are checking is whether this value negative 34 is less than 0. Yes, it is less than 0. So absolute value will be negative of value. So negative of negative 34 is positive 34. So absolute value is 34. Okay. So this is the first program. Now I am going to show you an example of the looping statement. In this looping statement, what we are going to see is the factorial of a number. Factorial of a number. What do you mean by factorial of a number? If a positive integer is given, for example 3, let's say, take a small one now. Factorial of 3 is 1 into 2 into 3. Okay. Factorial of 5 is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. What is factorial of 100? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 into etc. 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 It goes up to 99 into 100. Multiply all of those terms starting from 1 to that number. Okay, so there is an iteration going on there, number of times. If you want to find the factorial of 5, how many times you have to do the multiplication? You have to start with the first 2, then the third one joins, then the fourth one joins, and the fifth one joins. Right? So in this way a loop need to be done. You don't have to take each value separately and do this. You just have to run a loop, so that because factorial finds the product of first two numbers and result is there, then the result is multiplied with the third number, and this goes on until which number, up to which number you have to go. So while loop, using a while loop, we are solving this problem. So we know that to find the factorial, first of all we need an input up to which you want to find the factorial. If it is 100, if it is 5, it is 25 or whatever number it is, you just give that number. Now what happens? The result is actually a positive number. Okay, so to store the result I have created a variable fact equal to, initially fact is 1, because this 1 need to be multiplied with whichever value that we have there. Okay, so to iterate on the value starting from 1, actually since fact is 1, you can start with 2. Fact is already there, no? So you can start with 2 also, but no problem, 1 into 1 is 1. One more iteration will come, that's all. So I is the loop-in variable which controls the loop. So in while loop, I need to be initialized first. Whichever value that you are using to iterate need to be initialized first before the while loop. So here we are using I is now 1. I have to go up to, that means this value I has to go up to n. Okay, up to n. If it is 5, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to n. So that is why we have given the condition inside the while loop, I less than or equal to n at this stage. I less than or equal to n. Okay, so I has to start from 1. I should go up to n, less than or equal to n. Both these conditions, either of these conditions should satisfy. Initially I is definitely less than n. Finally it has to reach n, then stop there. So when I becomes greater than n, it shouldn't take the next iteration, it has to stop there. So if I is 1, fact equal to fact into I. What is fact? 1. 1 into 1 is 1. So new fact is 1 itself. Now I will get incremented. I plus equal to 1 means I equal to I plus 1. So first value we have seen it, then it has to go to 2, right? 2. We are assuming that now n is 5. N is 5. So 1 into 1, it's done. Then I is incremented to 2. Then what happens? We are again checking the condition in the while loop. There you will see 2 is less than or equal to 5. 2 is less than or equal to 5. The condition is true. Again loop body will execute. Fact is now 1. Now I is 2. So 1 into 2 is 2. So new fact will be 2. Again I gets incremented. I will become 3. 3 is less than or equal to 5, right? So again loop body will execute. Fact is 2 now, and we have to multiply 3 with it. Okay, so 2 into 3 is 6. So new fact is 6. I has to be incremented to 4. Again 4 and 6 will be multiplied. 24 you will get. New fact will be 24. I will get incremented to 5. Okay, 5. 5 is less than or equal to 5. This way, this is the last true statement. Okay, after that it will be wrong. 5 is less than or equal to 5. True. So once again this loop body will get executed. That means 24 into 5 is 120. So new value for the fact is 120. I will get incremented to 6 actually, and again it will check the condition in the while loop. What happens then? 6 is less than or equal to n. Now the condition became false. 6 is not less than or equal to 5, right? 6 is actually greater than 5. So this condition became false, and whenever the condition becomes false, it stops executing the loop and comes out of the loop and execute the statement that happens out just after the loop body. So what is that statement? The 11th statement. The statement factorial is fact. Okay, so let us run this. I am entering a positive number. Let let me enter 4 so that for us also the calculation should be easier. Factorial is 24. So if I am entering one more value, let it be 10 or a bigger one, 15. Will Python give me the correct answer? You can check it. Python can go any number. It can calculate any number of digits. Okay, that means you can count it. Actually, we cannot read this number, but still Python will give you bigger answers without any problem. Okay, the same program using while loop we have done this factorial. The same program can be done with the help of a for loop. You can see that the statement 3, 4 are the same. Only two statements are added there, for loop and the loop body, and the last print statement is also the same. So here I equal to 1, while loop, and two statements inside the loop body. These four statements 6, 7, 8, 9, they are replaced with 6 and 7. Two statements are there, for loop, the condition or the iteration statement, and the loop body. That's all. So here we have this range function. Range function create a range of items for iteration for the for loop. So for loop it will start from I equal to 1, okay, because range is starting from 1 to n plus 1, because range function for loop will take from 1 to n, the last number minus 1. So if you want to include n or n, then you have to give n plus 1, then only it will go up to n. Okay, so we need n numbers, factorial of n, right? So I will start from 1, then it will take 2, then it will take 3, then it will take 4, and if we have given 5, we have to mark it as 5 plus 1, 6, then only it will go up to 5. Range function is always like that. So I will take the value from 1 to 5 if it is mentioned in the range as range of 1 comma 5 plus 1, then only it will go up to 5. So the loop body is the same. Here you don't have to increment I. Automatically the loop will take the next value from the range of items created. So that is the speciality of this for loop. You don't have to initialize the value. You don't have to increment the value. Automatically that many number of times the loop will get executed. Fact equal to fact into I, the same statement that we did in while loop also. The output, you will see that it's the same. If I am giving 3, I'll get 6 as the output. Then if I give a bigger number 10, still I get an output. Same program using both the loops. Now I am going to